All right, I want to start this video off by saying I say this from a place of concern and care and passion because I really like Helldivers 2 and I really want to see it succeed, but I'm also not a moron. I see the writing on the walls, I see the pattern, it's a repetitive behavior. So with that said, please understand that I mean this in the sense that it's for the best intentions that I want to see the game improve, not to just sit here and dog on the developers for no reason. I'm just going to point out behaviors that I see and why it's a problem. So first of all, Helldivers on their official Discord put out a response saying, "We hear you, we're gonna work on this stuff. Here's a rough, loose idea of what we're gonna be doing. Expect to see updates concerning these issues in mid-October-ish." Again, ish. So it's good that they're saying something about this and they're addressing the problem. The issue is we have had radio silence. They've taken the rupture strain offline for 5 weeks when they decided to take it out. And now we're back in this vicious cycle of ups and downs and ups and downs. Now, I know every game has its ups and downs. The issue with this one is it goes to two extremes where we get something we want, and then over time, issues get worse and worse and worse, or patches roll back changes that were positive, or roll back patches that change things that we wanted them to change, whether it be ragdoll, weapon balancing, or enemy behaviors. Performance is even a big part of that. It's a problem. It is a constant and vicious cycle. They keep saying that there's things that are unintentionally removed, whether it be the hide over bore or certain features that used to be a part of the game. They focus on the most nonsensical garbage that they shouldn't be focusing on this stuff. I'm sorry, but excuse me, why are you focusing on the fact that you could teleport out of the extraction ship with the warp pack rather than fixing the long ass list of serious game-breaking and detrimental bugs? You are worrying about the most inconsequential, the most unremarkable bugs, rather than fixing things like charger footsteps, game performance, ragdolling, clipping into things, weapon audio. The list goes on and on and on. So I am crashing out a little bit here, but I believe it's for a good reason, because we've heard this crap before, and it keeps fucking happening. They need to get their shit together. They need to stop with this up and down garbage. Things go unanswered for a long time in regards to weapon balance or new content. They say we're working on stuff. We get a cool update and it's a complete dog shit performance slop fest. Like, I love the Into the Unjust Environments and update, but it is so underwhelming performance-wise, balance-wise, and overall, the feel just feels like the game, it feels like we're playing an alpha build. It's hard to find the words to describe this. I'm kind of ranting here because they say, "We hear you, we're working on this," but this is no different than honestly, this is no different than Escalation of Freedom, where they release a bunch of stuff, they hear the feedback, and then they come up with a plan on how to fix it, rather than taking the feedback and implementing that into their future updates in the first place. To make matters worse, they have surveys, they have bug reports, and I feel like none of it is going answered. They'll do minor tweaks here and there. They even took out the Dreadnought bug, where the armor that came with the control group war bond lets you sit in a mech and it stopped the bleed out timer. Why are you focusing on such finite things to fix when the base fundamental foundation of the game is so fucking broken? You have supposedly upwards of 90 gigs of potential redundancies in your files on PC. Fix your goddamn shit. This is unnecessary. This is absurd. This is asinine that this game is getting this bad. And I hear this garbage all the time about tech debt and whatnot. I'm sorry, but that's not our fucking problem. We are the customers, we play the game. We should not be feeling these effects this strongly because of their incompetence. I know they're a small studio, which means their priorities need to be focused very specifically on things. Instead, we get regurgitated, half-finished, half-baked slop, where the foundation of the potential is there. The potential for something amazing is there, but it's always half-baked and under-delivered. We get such a cool hive boss enemy, but it's just a thing that's out there, and it can kind of hang, and it's a side objective, nothing more. It's a side objective and nothing more. The Rupture Strain as a whole were really cool in concept, but then they completely break them with the Rupture Warriors being completely unacceptably broken, and I'm not just talking about the reaction time or the stim tax people have. I'm talking about when they were in the game, their only weak point was if they rear up so high that you could shoot their tail from the front or their tail over their back. Everything else, even gaps in their fucking armor, were considered medium armor points, meaning you could not shoot in the gaps of their front armor and hit them with a light pen weapon. Further changing the meta to make light pen pen even less useful, making ARs even more dog shit than people already thought they were. The War Striders on the bot front are unacceptable. They ragged all the crap out of you through everything. They replace Hulks, which means there's hundreds of them. They just don't have any good engaging weak point mechanics outside of shooting them in the hips or the joints. There's no clear heat vent on them, and they tank the performance. The bot performance has been so bad that I straight up don't play bots because the game will freeze for seconds at a time every time I try to play them. The squids are such an unintuitive, unfun faction because every single enemy feels like they're just bland bullet sponges, and weak points don't matter unless you have a medium pen weapon. Light pen is okay because there's just a horde of enemies, voteless. You can't hit squids in the head. Hitting any of the jetpack guys in the weak point, which is either their head or the jetpack, takes an absurd amount of ammo on the jetpack. The flesh mobs, there's absolutely no reason to hit the heads. You just shoot them till they die. You can't cripple them like you can almost everything else in the game. It's ridiculous that we had such a good foundation. There's so much potential, and every time something comes out, they just keep taking content and engaging mechanics out of the game. It's getting ridiculous, and I am absolutely crashing out here because I see this. We hear you. We're going to be focusing on this stuff, and one of the things they specifically mentioned is the silent charger footstep thing, which has been an issue since day one, and it's only now, over a year later, finally getting directly addressed in their Discord about something they're going to be using as a target fix. You have been told, you have been yelled at and screamed at time and time and time again to fix these issues, and it's only when the internet and your entire fan base is melting down that you actually take your head out of the fucking sand and listen. Get your shit together, Arrowhead. This is unacceptable. Actually listen to the feedback you are given and stop just pretending that you care. Remember those test servers they were talking about? The potential for having those? We still don't have those. A lot of what they promised, they never delivered on. And whether it be because they don't have the time, the resources, or the manpower, they have said nothing about it. And that's what bothers me. They don't just promise things and then go radio silent, give you a way to scream into the void and pretend like they're listening. It's out of control. So keep up the pressure. Keep showing them that this bullshit is not acceptable for a product you paid for. This is not okay. They need to get their shit together and actually address these problems. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.